Hello guys. In our last section, we added full text search to our application using specialized software and related Yii 2 components. And now let's have a look at the 7th section of this course, i.e. testing with Codeception. All of us test freshly developed code to be completely assured that the entire web application works fine and that we have not affected any other part. We need to also test all the previously developed code as well. The more complex and larger our application becomes, the more and more testing it demands. Some companies can afford to hire testing teams to do this job. But if you can't, you need to get things done on your own. Have you ever been annoyed with such monotonous and boring tasks? I think yes, we all have. But now, with Codeception and related Yii 2 components, we can write these tests only once, run them, grab a coffee, and watch the testing process as if watching a video. From now on, Codeception and Yii 2 framework will do this boring job for us. In this section, we will learn how to install and configure Codeception and the Yii 2 components, how to create and run unit and functional tests. Two most widely used types of tests. Fortunately, Yii 2 framework helps a lot in carrying out these tests. Let's move on to the video 7.1, Installing and Configuring Test Components. Codeception PHP testing framework allows us to run our tests and make web application testing automatic. Yes, it takes additional time to write tests, but in the future you can save this time on multiple instances. You'll be able to sleep well and know that all the parts of your application, all the features that you've covered with tests, work well. Of course, automated tests will not guarantee that your website works 100% as it is designed to. We can't foresee all possible scenarios and situations. But if you cover the most important application use cases with tests, you can be sure that at least these covered parts work as expected. In this video, we will learn how to install Yii 2 Codeception components and Codeception PHP testing framework, how to configure it, and then how to run tests. Let's move to the page www.yeeframework.com/doc2.0/ext Codeception index. This is the page where you can learn how to install Yii 2 Codeception components. How to do it. We just need to copy the command from the page, paste it into the console command line, and press enter. It takes some time to download and install the components, so in the meantime, let's install Codeception Framework. The simplest way to do it is to download .far file at codeception.com/install and copy it to the test application folder. Since we're testing the front end of the application, we need to move codeception.far file to /tests/codeception/frontend folder. Note that if you use Codeception version 2.1 or above, it requires PHP 5.5 or above. So copy this file to the destination folder. Let's have a look if the Yii 2 Codeception components were installed. Yes, everything is okay here. Now, we need to configure our installed components. Such configuration is not an easy job, but this video will help you. First of all, let's move to the front-end testing folder with the command cd tests/codeception/frontend, and then type the command php codecep.far. Now we see all the Codeception console commands. Before we start testing, we need to build the testing environment in the front-end test folder. Let's do it with command php codecep.var build. A new _support folder has been created in the front-end tests folder. As you have noted, the Yii Advanced template also provides simple tests. So let's try to run these tests with the command php codecep.var run. Codeception tells us that we need to configure our database. We can do it in the file /tests/codeception/config/config.php. So here it is. And now specify the database name Highload there. Save the code. Note that if you get an exception with undefined function expect, you need to install, specify and verify tools as well. You can see all the details on the page codeception.com/1004/2013/specification PHP unit. Let's try to run the tests again. Now we see a new error. Couldn't connect to localhost :8080. Please check if the web server is running. This means we need to configure PHP Browser for acceptance tests as well. We need to change the PHP Browser URL setting to http://highload in acceptance.suite.yml file. We also need to update test entry URL setting to localhost/index-test.php in codeception.yml file. In the same folder. All these settings are according to the settings of our local domain name and domain index test file. Save the updates and run the tests again. Nice! Now we only have 2 failures. Why? The thing is, we changed a bit of our home page beforehand when we worked on permissions. We changed the About link to Permissions link. So let's update 2 tests which fail. Save the code and run the tests again. Great, it works. All the tests pass. In this video, we have installed and configured testing environment for the front end of our Highload web application. All the tests pass. In the next video, we learn how to write unit tests for Highload. See you soon.